All right. So as always, make yourselves comfortable and sit back in your chair. I have a poem I'd like to share with you. This is a poem by a woman named Alison Luterman, and it's called Because Even the Word Obstacle is an Obstacle. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes while you're listening to this so that you can really absorb the words and hear them without the distraction of any other stimulus, without the distraction of visual stimulus. Go ahead and close your eyes. This is a really nice poem for summer. I know most of us have not been in a pool this summer, but you could hearken back to previous summers and relate to what she's saying. Try to love everything that gets in your way. The Chinese women in flowered bathing caps, murmuring together in Mandarin, doing leg exercises in your lane, while you execute 36 furious laps, one for every item on your to-do list. The heavy-bellied man who goes thrashing through the water like a horse with a harpoon stuck in its side, whose breathless tsunamis rock you from your course. Teachers all, learn to be small and swim through obstacles like a minnow without grudges or memory. Dart toward your goal, sperm to egg. Thinking obstacle is another obstacle. Try to love the teenage girl idly lounging against the ladder, showing off her new tattoo. Cette vie est la mienne. This life is mine, in thick blue-black letters on her ivory instep. Be glad she'll have that to look at all her life. And keep going, keep going. Swim by an uncle in the lane next to yours who is teaching his nephew how to hold his breath underwater, even though kids aren't allowed at this hour. Someday, years from now, this boy who is kicking and flailing in the exact place you want to touch and turn will be a young man at a wedding on a boat, raising his champagne glass in a toast when a huge wave hits, washing everyone overboard. He'll come up coughing and spitting like he is now, but he'll come up like a cork alive. So your moment of impatience must bow in service to a larger story. Because if something is in your way, it is going your way, the way of all beings, toward darkness, towards light. I thought that was very appropriate for the current state of affairs that we're all dealing with. Go ahead and begin to circle your head around. Big neck circles. Go the other way. And back to center. Sit tall, scoot forward a little bit on your chair so that you're sitting towards the middle of the chair. Rest your hands on your knees and see if you can find a neutral spine. What does that mean? It means the normal curves of the spine are in place. You're not overdoing any of the curves, but they're all there in a natural, neutral space. Notice if you tend to over-exaggerate that upper back curvature. Maybe you over-exaggerate the curvature in the neck at the same time. And see if you can gently bring those two things back into alignment. That way the muscles don't have to work quite so hard. The weight of your body is being borne by the bones of your spine. And then open your arms up wide, stretch across your chest, open up the front of the rib cage. Take a deep breath in And then give yourself a hug, wrap around, drop your head, curl your spine. Do that again. Inhaling, open up wide, stretch the chest. Exhaling, wrap up the opposite arm on top, curl in. Again, breathing in, open up. Breathing out, curl in and hug yourself. One more, inhale. And exhale. And come up, sit tall. Interlace your fingers. Press your hands out in front of you, palms facing forward. Lift your arms up overhead. Take a deep breath, press your palms to the sky. Exhale, press your palms out in front of you, curl the spine. Belly button drawing back towards your spine, shoulders rounding, head dropping. Next breath in, lift it up again. Stretch the arms to the sky, open up the shoulders and the chest. Exhale, press it out, curling through the spine, belly button back. Inhale, stretch it up one more time. This time, exhale, bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Release your arms down and rest your hands on your lap. Take a deep breath and let it go. Interlace your hands, press them forward, lift them up, take a deep breath. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center, exhale, twist left. Inhale to center, exhale, twist right and push out through your hands, rounding your spine. Breathing in, come back to center, exhale, twist left, press it out. Inhale, come back to center, release your arms, rest for a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Right hand comes to the leg of the chair, left arm reaches up and overhead. Be sure that you're not lifting the left hip off your chair. Both sit bones grounded on the chair as you reach to the right. Come back up and we'll switch sides. Hand to chair leg, right arm overhead, both sitting bones grounded down onto your seat. And back up to center. Take a turn to the right. Bring your left hand outside the knee of the right leg and bring the right hand back behind you to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. And then as much as is available to you, look back over the right shoulder so that you're continuing the twist all the way up through your neck. Back to center and switch sides. Twisting to the left, hand outside your knee, the other hand to the back of the chair or the seat. Look left. Unwind back to center. Start to roll your wrists out. Gentle fists making circles through the wrist joints. And really feel the stretch across the wrist and the hand through the forearms. Reverse directions. And then stretch your arms out straight out from the shoulders, making gentle fists. Drop your hands down towards the floor. So you're stretching across the top of the wrist. You might feel it in the forearm and in the back of the hand. And then flip that up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, pressing out. Extend the fingers this time. Push out through your palms. And then relax, give it a little shake, a little wiggle through fingers, flutter the wrists, and begin to roll your shoulders back, making big scooping motions. And then bring them forward. And now draw your arms straight out in front of you, straight out from your shoulders, shoulder height, and press your fingertips forward so that The space between the shoulder blades is spreading apart. Your upper back is spreading open wide. Keep the arms straight. Reverse that. Draw the shoulder blades together on your back. Squeeze them back together on your back. Once again, press them out forward. Nothing else moves but the arms moving from the shoulder joints. And then reach back. Try not to get the rest of the back involved, just the upper back. And then relax your arms. Swim your arms back like you're doing the backstroke in a pool. Big circles all the way back. Make the movements as big as you possibly can. And then roll them forward. And then just using the right arm, big full circles all the way around. And the other direction. Left arm, circle it back all the way around, full range of motion. And forward. Draw both arms out in front of you, cross the right arm over the left. Hook the elbows, draw your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Sit tall, draw your belly in, bow your head. Now lift your head up, lift your elbows straight out in front of your chest, in front of your throat. Start to make circles with your elbows, circling them as big as you can, right? So it might be a small range of motion, just do your best, make the circles as big as you can, and then reverse directions. Let that go, shrug your shoulders up by your ears, and release, shake it out. Extend your arms, left arm over right, elbows hook, hands to the tops of your shoulders. Again, drop your head, and then lift your head and lift your elbows in front of your throat. Start to circle it around. Reverse directions. And let it go. Reach your arms back behind your back and clasp your hands. Hold hands with yourself. Draw your arms down towards the ground so that the shoulders roll back, the chest lifts up, and the hands move down to the seat of the chair. Let that go. Relax a moment. Sit farther forward on your chair so you have more space behind you. Same thing again, clasp hands, shoulders roll back, arms draw down towards the ground, chest lifts. Now try to lift your arms back behind you as if you could reach them to the wall behind you and tip forward slightly. Keep lifting up and back through the arms, reaching the chest forward. Try not to round your spine for now. Straight, long spine, arms reaching up and back. And then release your arms, press back up to sit tall. Take a deep breath in and out. Slide your hands back to the crease of your hips. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, maybe even look up. And then press your arms to your kneecaps. Keep the arms straight as you roll the spine back behind you and drop your head down. Hands back to hip creases, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Arms straighten, spine rounds back behind you. And back to center. Reach your heart forward, keeping the spine long. Roll your shoulders back and imagine your breastbone, your sternum bone, moving straight out in front of you between your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, move the heart forward. Neck is long, you can kind of move it side to side, roll it around a bit. And then press back up, sit tall. Sweep your arms up by your ears, release them down by your sides. Again, breathing in, reach up. Exhale, release. One more time, reach up, stay up. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears. Really squeeze them up as hard as you can. And then without forcing them down your back, just release. Relax as the arms stay lifted so that you're no longer squeezing that place between ears and tops of shoulders. Your neck is loose. The tops of the shoulders are loose. Your shoulder blades are loose on your back. And release your hands. Hold the sides of the chair and then lengthen your spine as much as possible. Lift up as if you could pick your rib cage up off of your hips. Lengthen the sides of your waist as much as you can. Now think about drawing your tailbone down to the ground and lifting your breastbone up towards the ceiling. Tailbone down, breastbone lifting, lengthening the sides of the waist so that the low back is long and the middle and upper back are beginning to get a little of the back bendy shape into the middle and upper back. And then release and come back to a neutral spine. I'm going to turn sideways as we do that again so you can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. So as you're sitting, think about lengthening the sides of the waist, dropping your tailbone down towards the ground. So it's a little bit of reverse tilt in the pelvis. At the same time, I'm lifting up through my breastbone. So I'm not back bending in my low back, right? I'm not getting a big lumbar curve. Instead, I'm bringing the curve up higher into my middle and upper back. So you're spreading out the back bend rather than dumping into the low back. And then come back to neutral. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Sit as tall as you can, long spine. Bring your right leg up. Hook your hands in front of your shin. Pull your shin in as close to your thigh in, rather, as close to your body as you can, and keep sitting tall. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release that leg, pick up the other leg, the left leg, hug your thigh in towards your body, long spine. So you're not rounding forward, you're really keeping that length as much as possible. And release. Now we're going to switch that up a little bit. The inhale is going to be the leg down and the spine lengthening. The exhale, we're going to draw the knee up and curl inward, rounding the spine. Breathing in to release, breathing out to curl. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, curl. Lengthen and curl. And lengthen and curl. Last time. Lengthen on the inhale, curl on the exhale. Release it down, sit tall. This time, using just your right hand, pick up your leg again, draw the knee up, and then move it wide as you can, as if you could tuck your knee into your right armpit, right? So you want to get it wide and back as much as possible. Hug it in. Let it go. Other side. Bring it up. Pull it wide, wide and high. And let it go. Give your knees a little swish side to side. Just open and close with your hands on your knees gently a few times. And then we're gonna come up to stand. So come up to stand behind your chair so that your hands can be on the back of the chair for support. I'm gonna turn mine sideways so that you have a better view. Hands on the back of the chair for support, legs up close to the legs of the chair, and step back with your left leg about 2.5 or 3 feet, something like that. Bend into the front knee, bend into your right knee. Try not to lean forward, but instead have your spine long, straight up and down over your hips, shoulders over hips, straight up and down over the floor rather than leaning forward. Okay, so this is our warrior one shape. Keep your right hand on the seat and lift your left arm up. Think about what we did at the top of class when we were freeing up the shoulders, and make sure that you're not gripping your arm up by your ear, but instead there's a relaxed space between your earlobe and your shoulder blade is free to sort of lift up and follow the upper arm bone. Bring that hand down, and then the other arm, bring it up, shoulder blade free, top of the shoulder relaxed, and then bring that hand down. Now spin your back heel up so that the heel is pointing up towards the ceiling. Ball of the foot on the ground, the front knee is still bent. This is a high lunge position. Think about squeezing your inner thighs towards each other, like you're scissoring or magnetizing your inner thighs in just a little bit to provide a little bit more stability in this position. Now step forward, stand tall, and relax. Take a deep breath in and out. Step back with your right leg. Left leg is going to bend, right leg is straight, and the whole right foot is sealed down to the mat. So the right foot is on an angle. The left foot is facing straight forward. Again, try not to lean forward, but shoulders over hips, spine straight up and down from the hips. Lift the right arm up, right arm up. Make sure it feels free. Think of it as an extension of your spine almost, like you could lift it up, maybe from the side of your waist all the way through the fingertips. And then release it, lift the left arm. And release. Turn your back heel up so you're in that high lunge position. It's more of a balanced position than the first posture. So think about the feet grounding well. Think about your inner thighs drawing towards each other slightly, hugging them in towards the midline. Keep breathing. And then step forward and stand tall. Step back with your left leg again. This time, keep the heel lifted. So we're coming into that high lunge position. Now, do angle your torso forward. So your elbows are going to bend. You're going to angle your body forward over your front thigh towards the back of the chair. Lean forward and pick up your back leg. If you can straighten the front leg, great. If you can't, that's okay. Lift the back leg up as high as you are able to. Ideally, we want to have that leg as lifted as the hip and the spine parallel to ground so that you're in one straight line parallel to the ground. And then step that foot forward, stand tall, and relax. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Step back with the right leg, heel lifted towards the sky, high lunge. Remember that squeezing in of the thighs, angled lunge now. Reaching forward from the heart. Begin to step into the left leg, lifting the right leg up behind you. Again, lifting it as high as you are able to. So you're working the back, the tush, and the hamstrings to lift that leg up. The spine has to work pretty hard here. The muscles along the spine work hard to keep you in this parallel to the ground position as best you can, obviously. You just do your best. And then step forward and stand tall. Take a deep breath. and let it go. Step back maybe 1 footprint or so from the back of the chair. So you're creating just a little bit more space here. And then once again, we're going to come into that supported warrior 3 shape. So step back with the left leg, tip forward, and press off. Okay, so the right leg is on the ground, the left leg is lifted. We're back in that supported warrior position. Now, right hand comes to the middle of the chair. You're going to start to spin your body open to the left. So you're spinning away from the front thigh. Both arms are still on the chair. Back leg as lifted as your hip as much as possible. So now you're working the outer hip muscles to keep that leg lifted. If you feel stable, you might take your left hand to your left hip, only if you feel stable. And if you're there and that's okay as well, lift the arm to the sky. Keep breathing. Hug your belly in for support. Bring both hands back down if they're not already. Gently bend the knees, step down, and press up to stand tall. Take a deep breath and let it go. Same thing, other side. Fingers to the chair, press into your left leg, step back with your right leg. The heel is lifted, angled lunge. Lean forward, pick up the right leg. We're in that warrior 3 position. Hold here. Move your left hand to the middle of the chair back. Begin to turn your torso towards the right. So now it's the outer right hip muscles that are working to keep that leg lifted. Stay here and work on stability. Pull your belly in. If you like, right hand to right hip. If that's okay, lift the arm. All of these things are optional, right? You can have 2 hands on the chair, working the outer leg muscles here, the outer hip of the right leg. Soften your knees, step forward, press up to stand. Take a deep breath and let it go. And then make your way back to sit in your chair. And step your feet wide, wider than the chair legs. Toes turn out, knees turn out. Lift your arms all the way up overhead. And then bring them down into a cactus or a goalpost shape. Lift your heels. Release them down. Again, lift, release, and lift, release, and lift, and release. Bring your hands to your knees. Drop one shoulder towards the opposite knee. So I'm going to drop my right to my left knee. Okay, so you're going to just kind of twist and drop. At the same time, use that hand to push your knee away from the midline. So you're stretching the inner thigh, you're stretching the back and the shoulder. It's a twist. Come back to center. Opposite side. Drop that shoulder down, twisting and leaning, and press the thigh open. And come back to center. We're going to flow through that movement. So twisting and pressing open and back to center, and twisting and pressing open and back to center. Keep going. And come on up. Now, lay your right forearm on your right thigh. Press your left hand and your left knee into each other and roll the left shoulder back. Similar movement down here, but different movement in the shoulder. So the shoulder reaches back, you're pressing the thigh open. And come on up, other side. Come onto the forearm, press open, roll the right shoulder back. So you're opening up the chest. And back to center. Take your fingertips to your shoulders. Sit tall. Draw your belly in. Really support. Tip over to the right, right elbow towards right knee. Come back to center, left shoulder towards left knee. And back to center. Make sure you're really hugging the belly muscles in to create support as you move through these shapes. Feeling the side muscles working, the side body muscles strengthening and working to support your torso. Come back up, relax your arms, take a deep breath in, let it go. This time, bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, cup the back of your skull, elbows wide, chest open, again, belly pulling in, sit tall, same thing, tip over. It's a little harder this time because your elbows are a little further away from your knees. Tip over and back to center, and reach, and center, reach, and center. Stay here. Twist right and twist left. Come back to center. Relax your hands. Draw your thighs back together. Take a breath. And release. Stretch your right leg out so it's long, heel on the ground, knees straight. Keep your left leg bent for support. Left hand can stay on the left knee for support. Right hand can stay on the chair leg for support. And then lean forward. So that same reach of the torso. Really try to keep the spine long without rounding as much as possible. And stretch out the back of the right leg. So we're going for a hamstring and calf stretch here. The more you pull your toes back towards your kneecap, the deeper the stretch will be. And come back up, bend your right knee, switch hands, extend the left leg, lean forward, pull the toes back. And come back up. Extend your right leg again. And this time, cross your right foot in front of your left. So you're crossing just over the midline. Right hand on the chair leg. Left hand comes down to the outside of the right knee. Now, lean forward and stretch it out as much as possible. And come back up, replace it, lengthen the left leg, cross the foot over in front of the right foot so that you're crossing the midline, and reach out to the outside of the knee, slide your hand down and stretch it out. And come back up. Figure 4, cross the right ankle above the left knee and sit tall. You could add a little gentle pressure down on the right thigh, but only if it feels like that's, serving you well and not creating discomfort. And then cross all the way over, right thigh over left. Hug the shins towards each other, left hand to the outer right leg, take a turn. And back to center. Unwind it. Left ankle above right knee. Sit tall. A little gentle pressure if it feels good. And then slide the legs. So the thigh and the knees are meeting. Shins are hugging together. Right hand outside the left thigh. Take your turn. and back to center. Unwind. Plant your feet. Deep breath in, both arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring your hands to your knees. Lean forward, forward bend. Lean your belly and your chest on top of your thighs as much as you can. And then either keep your head elevated and simply tuck your chin to lengthen the back of the neck, or if it's appropriate for you and you are okay with dropping your head below the level of your heart, you could drop down. You could even reach your hands towards your ankles or the ground. This is individual. If you have eye issues, high blood pressure issues, or osteoporosis issues, you might not want to come this deep into a forward bend. So you can stay up higher. Wherever you are, press your hands onto your knees. Press yourself back up to sit tall. And then sit back in your chair. Relax all the way back. Let your back settle into the support behind you. Let your hands relax, arms, feet, legs. Everything just relaxes. Let your legs kind of flop where they will, whatever feels natural to you. That might be just how you were. It might be legs extended, might be knees flopping open, whatever feels relaxed and natural. Close your eyes. Feel your breath moving your body. Notice the sensation of your body touching the chair, touching the floor. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the movement of air in your body as you breathe. Soften your jaw. Release your shoulders away from your ears. Release your forehead. Take one deep breath in and let it out. Go ahead and open your eyes. Sit forward, sit tall. Sweep your arms up high. Make a prayer shape. Draw that right down to the center of your chest. And we'll end with a little bow to each other to acknowledge each other. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. The weather is beautiful today. If you're here in New Jersey, I don't know what it's like if you're elsewhere. But it is a gorgeous day.